Coach, since your arrival on March, the possibility of the team has close to qualify to round 3. So, what is the primary objection in this national team that federation give to you? And about the potential squad tomorrow, there's some Indonesian league players in your squad. So, has the potential to play tomorrow. You have Kevin as a goalkeeper, OJ. Also for Patrick, you play in Thailand, Malaysia. Unfortunately, you never play here. Maybe someday. And then, do you have a significant advantage? There are many Filipinos play in some countries in Southeast Asia. It will be helpful a lot, or any comments about that?
Yeah, I signed a 2-year deal with Philippine Federation. I was in Africa the last years. I was 5.5 years with the Gambia, and even twice nominated top 5 coach in Africa by the CAF, the African AFC. And I had still a contract in Africa till 2016 August. But when I spoke with Philippine Federation, they attracted me with a long-term plan. It was not a short-term plan from, hey, let's win against Iraq, Indonesia, and Vietnam and qualify. They were also realistic. We are in a very tough group where 3 teams competed in the last Asian Cup in Qatar. If you look to other qualification groups, there are groups where only 1 team played the Asian Cup. We have 3 competitors with Vietnam, Indonesia, and Iraq who were in Qatar in January. So when I signed, there were 3 missions. One of them is refresh the team, renew the team. Patrick is still one of the, with all respect, one of the older generation. He's 35, yeah, but still ready to sign a contract in Indonesia if someone is interested. But we want to look to the future. We think that World Cup 2026 was a dream, but on the short term not realistic. But Asian Cup 2027 and to the longer term with the new rules, World Cup 2030 could be potential realistic if we can convince all the possible players all over the world who are eligible to play for the Philippine national team. All over the world, in Canada, USA, I get even messages from people in Latin America, in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, everywhere in the world, Japan. There are people who could eligible play for the Philippine national team. Some of them are already interested, some of them are waiting for bigger countries like Canada and others. But if we, the coming months, can show that we are improving, that we are getting a respected country, I'm sure that many of these teams, just like Indonesia, many of these players will decide to join us. We now had already 5 guys who made their debut. I have to say that we miss about 3 strikers. So we are working on that. So there is 2 ways. There's a path of short term, let's try to get decent results and performances against Iraq, Vietnam, and Indonesia. But there's a plan of renewing the team, refreshing, getting a younger team, and with the goal to be competitive in the Mitsubishi Cup later this year. Philippines reached the last time the semi-final in 2018, but never reached the final and never won the tournament, naturally. That's a dream we have. That's also the reason we are looking to Canada, America, and the Scandinavian countries in Europe, where the league will finish before the Mitsubishi Cup starts. So we're trying to recruit players who could be available later this year in November. And another big dream, and for me, dream number 1 and ambition number 1 is qualifying for the Saudi Arabia Asian Cup 2027. Not now on the short term, tomorrow, when or Vietnam or Indonesia will celebrate, but we hopefully can do it next year when the other teams compete again for a qualification spot. So renewing the team, refreshing the team, getting a competitive squad with the aim to get far and dreaming of winning the Mitsubishi Electric Cup, and last but not least, qualifying for Saudi Arabia 2027.